Welcome to the Career Ready Podcast. Learn about resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn, interviewing, and all things you need to be career ready with the Career Service Center at College of DuPage. I'm your host, Pierre Michiels, for today's episode. In addition to learning about resources and the job search process, an important part of being career ready is understanding career paths. To help us explore the field of automotive, I have Joe Aranki with me, who works as the Automotive Program Coordinator and professor here at College of DuPage. Joe, thanks for joining me.
No, thank you for having me.
So as we get started here, can you share a short introduction, or as we like to call it, your elevator pitch?
Yeah, as you said, my name is Joe Aranki. I've been fixing cars for about 32 years. It started because my dad, he worked in a factory in a traditional 40-hour setting, but then he would fix cars at nights and on the weekends to help make ends meet. So I kind of grew up holding the light for him. And then after I graduated high school, it just seemed like a natural fit. So I ended up going to an automotive trade school and then started fixing cars. And then eventually I did open my own shop, and then that just led into teaching.
Thank you for that introduction. It's nice to hear that this was something you were exposed to so early and then just kind of took it on professionally, and now you made that transition into teaching. So can we talk a little bit more about that specifically here and the automotive program, and maybe some of the different career paths that it could lead towards?
Yeah, so we specifically teach students how to diagnose and repair today's modern vehicles. However, we do have an articulation agreement, and a lot of our students move on to SIU to get a 4-year automotive degree, and that opens up even more career type things. But for us, really, we want to show you how to be able to diagnose these late model with these advanced systems and repair them.
And I could see, going back to your introduction, you said that you've been working on cars for 32 years. I'm sure they've evolved quite a bit over that time. I know for sure they've evolved quite a bit over that time. Can you just expand on maybe how the program helps students see the evolution of cars, or what students should be thinking about as they prepare for cars changing in the future?
Yeah, so that's one thing that we're very fortunate about here at COD. Although I've always said that money doesn't make a program, I think instruction makes a program. The money helps, and they support us really, really well here. So because of that, we are able to get the latest trainers, the latest vehicles. We have over 70 vehicles in our fleet that have these advanced systems. So students are often seeing the systems that even techs in the field haven't even seen yet. So I think we do a really good job of staying current. One of the requirements of teaching, in an ASC education certified program is that you have to get 20 hours of continued training. So we stay current, and we hope that we're teaching the kids these latest things.
So then, as you're staying current with these latest trends, just from an educational standpoint, being able to provide that in the classroom, how often are people enrolling in your program for their own professional development, or is that a way that they seek it out elsewhere?
Yeah, I think that the industry does a very good job of trying to continue to train the current techs so they are able to do the systems. Our program is geared more for students who have no background. We want to take you from zero all the way up to our capstone class, which is a live run class. People drop off their vehicles. Students have to pull that vehicle in, diagnose it. The instructor will sell that job, and then they'll have to repair it. And then, of course, make sure that the work is done quality. So it's a good buffer between the classroom and, going out to industry. But our program is really geared towards bringing you from no background up until being an entry-level technician.
That's great to hear, because I know there's a lot of people like yourself that have that passion and that introduction to cars very early on. But then I also know people that say, I'm mechanically inclined, but I haven't really had a chance to work on cars. So sometimes they discredit going down this path. But it sounds like even if they're at that ground zero starting point, you'll give them those fundamental technical skills, abilities to really make them marketable as they enter the field.
That's what I feel we do a good job with. And again, because of that financial support, we have the equipment and the tooling and the training aids and the vehicles to really be able to do that.
So we're talking a lot about these technical, fundamental automotive skills. But I'm just curious, beyond those, do you think students are developing other valuable skill sets employers may value? Don't want to put words into your mouth, but maybe like time management or teamwork, communication, things like that?
Yeah, I think that because of a lot of times the way our industry pays taxes based on book time, so a given job will give a certain amount of time to complete that job. So you're only getting paid what that book says that job should take. So for shops to be profitable, they need techs who can beat that time. So we hope that we do a good job of teaching students about efficiency, whether that be in the diagnostic process or in the repair process. So we hope these, I don't know if the correct term would be soft skills, but we hope that we help develop this in students so they can be profitable for themselves and, of course, for the shops.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Needing to have that balance, both the technical and the soft skills to help them be efficient in their work. So are there other experiences or opportunities you recommend developing professionals into the automotive field seek out?
Well, no, I mean, again, because of the way that we're geared to take students from zero, I think that, it's not a bad idea if you have a passion for it to explore and take some classes and see if it is something. We do have one class geared specifically for that. That's just like introduction to the automotive industry. So, you could do it that way. Or, if you have a family friend or somebody that is in the industry, maybe it's worth just sitting down and talking to them about what they like about it, if they would do things differently or things like that. Or I'm happy to answer these questions. If you ever want a tour of our facilities, just email me and I'm happy to begin a line of communication that way.
All right, sounds good. And what are you doing in the program here at College of DuPage to prepare students for the field?
So a couple of things about that. First of all, I think auto is unique in the fact that we don't necessarily specifically teach you how to fix cars. We teach you about electrical, electronics, hydraulics, HVAC systems, all these independent systems on a vehicle. We teach you how they work. So your skill set you become very seasoned. So that's what I hope that, we are teaching you. So you might utilize that skill set fixing cars, or there are so many other industries that utilize that skill set. So you might end up doing something else. So I just think it's a good time to be auto, and it can never really be a waste taking these classes, because if you enjoy using your hands to fix things and problem solve, we're going to help you develop that, and you will find an industry that will suit that skill set.
Yeah, I want to emphasize one thing you said within there, and then linking back to what you said at the beginning of that response, as far as problem solving, right? Because you don't teach them how to fix a car, right? You teach them how to work through these problems. Because if you teach them how to do it this one way, well, that works for that car, that model, right, that year. But then the next vehicle, it could be similar but different. So then helping them understand that process, and it's not just, okay, this way, and then that's it. Really understanding how to process through that and to approach different cars, different vehicles, different other mechanical pieces. Maybe it's not even necessarily an automotive component, but it's some other mechanical thing that you're really preparing them to move towards.
I hope that's the way that we approach it. All of our homework, I shouldn't say all, but most of our homework assignments and most of our exams are done online at home. They're open book, they're open note. Education has changed from when I was a student. Before you would go and sit, take notes, go home, memorize this stuff, and then you'd go to school and you'd have to see how good your memory was. But now information is too available to you. So we are trying to develop that critical thinking, the process of figuring things out, in conjunction with having all the information available to you at hand. So our exams are built around you trying to figure out that problem with the resources that you have.
Yeah. A term, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but we use it a lot in our career services space as being technology agile, meaning that you're learning the different technology and then you're learning how to incorporate that technology to better serve you. Because as you said, information is in abundance and we could be accessing it in so many different ways, to where that memorization really isn't needed anymore, but I need to look up this for this type of car or this type of process. Knowing how to do that efficiently, going back to what we were talking about earlier, becomes a really important factor. So again, that technology agile, being able to adjust to the technology that's available and determine what's most appropriate to help you move forward.
And I couldn't agree more. And I hope that's the way everybody, there are 5 full-timers in our program and we have 12 part-timers. And I think we're all on the same page about what you're saying.
And so is there anything else you recommend to students or young professionals preparing for the field of automotive?
Well, if you really do have a passion for this, and there's such a shortage of techs out there, that there are a lot of very basic entry-level jobs that employers will take a chance on you. And it's a great way to see, if being around it, it's a great way to see if you really do enjoy it and have an aptitude for it. There are oil change places that are hiring lube techs, tire technicians, even the parts industry, being around that. Just being around the industry, I think, will give you a much deeper sense of how things work. And then, it'll see if you really like being around it.
I think that's great advice for a few reasons. One, okay, I'm passionate about playing on my car, working on my car, doing this, but then to see what that looks like in industry can maybe dissuade you from pursuing that because it's just different, seeing those expectations, or it will encourage you, motivate you. So to get that experience, that awareness is really valuable. But also I have to believe it's true for automotive. It's true for many fields, the network, those connections. So then being at those places and then getting that reputation and getting known by people within the industry only helps open up more doors in the future.
I couldn't agree more.
So how can interested listeners find out more about the program here at College of DuPage?
Well, there is the our webpage. So you can go to cod.edu, look up automotive. You're welcome to contact me. My email address is arankij@cod.edu. If you email me, I can send you an information packet. I'm happy to schedule a time to talk over the phone, Zoom, or tour our facilities.
All right, well, check out our show notes to easily get that email and the link to the automotive page. We'll have that there. Joe, thank you so much for sharing all this great information.
Thank you.
With today's episode, there's no listener question. However, if you have a question, you can submit it to careerpodcast@cod.edu or on social media at COD Career Center, and you may hear it answered in a future episode. Thanks to all our listeners, and special thanks to Joe for joining the Career Ready podcast. We hope you now have a better understanding of the automotive field.